asked, hey, can we do at least a little clinic, a little demo of some of the better players? What are some of the key things that they're doing that maybe I'm not doing? Okay, so
Jesse hits from the wrong side of the ball.
yeah, Jesse hits from the wrong side of the ball. That's first and foremost. But then again, but hang on. So real quick, Jesse.
Literally the right side of the ball.
Well, first, this is a clinic. If anyone has a question on what, like, even me, I mean, I've been golfing for 5 years one-handed. It's a completely different. It took me a while to realize that
pretty simple stuff. Into the house.
Swing at it next time.
Hang on.
Jason, do you bring the club? Do you try to force the club down, and you still bring your hand down?
No, actually, you know what? For a long time, that was one of the things I tried to do because with two hands, they say you should be able to keep a towel in your armpits and swing with it.
Yeah.
I had to get rid of that because I tried to keep tucked in, and I would hosel out of it, and I kept so compact. And that's one thing that a lot of people notice now is I kind of got a big windmill, but I feel the tension here, like in my elbow. It's kind of a more, I don't know what the heck I was doing. One day I was just screwing around, I tried to do the armpit thing, which works really good for.
Don't force down into the inside.
Don't force down.
With all your clubs or just your driver?
Just let your arm. Let your arm.
Feel like your arm's actually just falling down, like it's doing it by itself.
So
don't force it down.
Don't force it down.
Hang on, Jesse made a comment. Jesse, you made a comment of what are the 2 or 3 big flaws that you see the average first timer, the guys that struggle maybe a little bit. What are the few flaws that you typically see?
Sure. So one of them is like a long swing. This is
for Stevie Day.
Yeah, Stevie Day. This is not for
not
Stevie
for him.
Day. But a long swing. Don't make a long swing. Even like half swing. Like when I'm struggling, you can still like half swing it, and you guys will still be fine.
Yeah.
Don't go like long.
It's hard sometimes to get your arm to catch up to your body because it's a strength thing to have your arm stay with your body, So, like he's saying, a half swing. Today I have a knockdown shot that I like, where it's just a little half shot or whatever. And sometimes when I'm struggling with my arm and my body being in one, I'll hit my knockdown shot, which is just a short swing, and I just club up. It's.
What about the over the top? Like a lot of us get. Okay, so I've shortened my swing a lot. I used to be a Stevie Day, right? I mean, remember I used to go all the way back here, and the club would be pointing down. And all I've worked on over the last year is shorten my swing. So now I just go here. I'm done right here. But my problem is that I get here, and what I want to do is my body wants to rotate, and my hand's still up there, and then I just end up hooding the ball left.
Halfway through the round today, actually, I figured out kind of what I was screwed up today bad. And the one thing I do, and someone asked me before too, and that's what kind of got me thinking is, I pretend this shoulder is not even here. I swing with this shoulder, and I push through with this shoulder too, and
so
you get
finish.
that.
Yeah. Finish
so
through.
that the one thing is you have to, like I twist with my hips, but then I swing out with my shoulders. One thing that always growing up, even with two hands, is my parents always said, pretend you're swinging a sack of potatoes, and your arm wants to extend out and go through the shot. Like this shoulder should push through and extend through is what I do.
Yeah, the extending thing is the most important thing too, because if you don't, you're going to either get quick on it or not fall or not.
Yeah, because right here, man, it's like the first move. Is it down with my arm?
No.
Or is it rotate with my shoulders, or is it hips? Because it just over the top
you said, you want
close.
to move your hips first. When your hips move, your arm will follow.
Okay. Then your arm will follow, and you want to swing.
So Jess,
do you slide? Do you slide or not much? You just get locked, right?
Yeah, like you don't want to swing back and forth.
The best thing I like to tell
hit
people,
fat or you'll thin it.
Pretend your spine's on a pole, like this. You want to twist on that pole. You want to twist your hips and then swing through, and you want to swing through the shot, like 2 to 3 feet. Pretend you're going through the ball.
Out forward.
Hang on, Jess, you had one other one that you said you see a lot.
About hitting it further. You don't want to cast it here. You don't want to cast it up here. So you just want to make sure it's kind of before you hit the ball, right?
Yep. Yeah.
Vinny, you've been here longer than these two. What do you say?
It's so smooth because he's got a real smooth swing.
Hey, Vinny,
hang on.
Enough said.
Enough said.
So hang on. So hey, Jess, why don't you show what you're talking about with where your arm is? Vince, I want you too. Okay. Hey guys, one of the things I want you to obviously notice. So we call it, you know, short and maybe more laid off or over here.
Laid off.
But watch where Jesse's arm is. You know, Jason goes a little long, but watch where, and then watch where Vince goes too. Guys, it's very similar. Okay.
Like, this is probably like where I finish usually. But if you're struggling, you can swing it like to here. You guys can stop too. And this is my normal one. I'll show you one.
That's it.
So Vince, what are you thinking?
That's one of
Like
his
where
worst
where you want to be when you're at the top?
I want to be right there.
Yeah.
Just short. I think all three of us are just short of parallel.
Okay. So here's. Boom.
Wow.
Very nice. Jason, go. Nice ball.
Another thing, one thing that I found out, like Jesse's been since he was a baby, you know, like with one arm, but my wrist strength is a big. The snap in my wrist is where I get my strength from. The first round that I played, the first summer that I played, I had to tee up every shot. Every single shot I had to tee up because I had no power in my wrist. And then when my wrist got strong, and I had that wrist snap right here, so I mean, you don't have to have a big swing to snap, you know, kind of get that snap through that you don't realize.
Are you guys going to hit irons too?
Yeah.
Yes, I can.
Because I want to see that.
Faster club head speed does not mean that.
Correct.
Does not mean further.
Right. I want to see how you rotate through the irons, you know, where you hit the divots in front of the ball.
Yeah, hang on one second.
I do.
So guys, hang on. Jesse, explain a strong grip or a weak grip, real quick.
Like obviously I have like a really strong grip. Further you go this way, weaker.
Okay.
Strong. Probably neutral or weak. Like I don't know.
I have a neutral.
You probably has neutral, yeah. So thumb.
Vince, you're pretty
Thumb
strong.
straight down.
Yeah.
Yeah, strong.
Okay.
I've always been.
Hey guys, the last 9 championships have very strong grips.
Right.
Okay. Little FYI. Okay. 9 championships, strong grip.
It's
Might
pretty
be a
easy
common
when you
theme.
hit it that far. It's a pretty easy game.
That ball's landed in the desert out there. See that brown hill out there? That's where that ball was.
Desert out there.
Nice one, Billy.
Holy crap! Jeez, he's neutral. But Jason, you're a tad stronger than neutral, right?
No,
He's kind of right. He's kind of neutral, right
my
at
hand. My hand, it should point straight down at the ground, perpendicular to the ground.
He's pretty neutral.
And, yeah.
So hang on,
Where's your
guys.
ball
Hang
position?
on, guys. Real quick. Stephen Ford, can you?
1 foot.
Stephen
I
Ford's
want
a good
somebody real quick backhander. Okay. I know we got a few backhanders here. So Stephen, I don't know if you want to hit a driver, but what are a couple of the so backhanders? What are some of the key things that backhanders should do?
Well, what I would say, the biggest thing for a backhander versus a forehander is at the top of the swing. Like once you get to the top of the swing, as a backhander, you have a lot of strength here. You know, you can really set the club. With a forehander, especially when I start hitting
Can we have
the ball,
one lesson at a time, please?
when I start hitting the ball all over the place, 9 times out of 10, and actually Jonathan mentioned it to me at the long drive competition. He's like, you're not setting, you're not getting set, you're not letting the club set. So you get to the top and then you start rushing down. Well, you don't have any strength here, so this is kind of all over the place. So really, the most important thing for me is just to make sure it's set and the club's not moving around at the top. You know, that's the most important thing. Another thing that really happens with backhanders is at impact you get here, like really super high hands, right? So if you're getting here, that's going to be hooks, toe hits, on the hosel, very inconsistent. So really what you want is to think low hands. That gets the club working back outside. Because if your hands get high, you know, we have no recovery strength here. Hands get high, club goes low, and you can't save it. So I just try to think to get set and then hands low, get the club working outside. You're not necessarily going over the top. You just want the club head working more outside of the ball.
Nice swing.
That's a beautiful swing right there.
Nice swing, Steven.
So real quick, Jesse, hit an iron. Vince, hit.
I don't know where that
Steven
was.
hit a couple more.
I was gonna say, where was that
Where was
today,
that today?
I didn't hit the irons bad today. It was the driver. I put 2 or 3 in somebody's windshield on the highway. So yeah, just it's for backhanders. Just I would say make sure you're getting set at the top, because once the club goes either way, we can't save it. The other guys, they're here. You have a lot of strength here to make recovery. If we're not set at the top, then you can't save it.
That. What club is that?
So yeah, that's a 9-iron.
9. Hang on, I heard a couple questions. Brandon, any guys have questions for Jesse, Vince, or?
I was just asking him in his mind where he's at when he's finishing. Like, to me, sometimes when I'm with my driver, sometimes I'm pushing out or coming across, and he said, just you want to be aiming straight where you want to be hitting the ball more.
Okay. Vince, you got anything else to say besides you won 5?
Hey, I got a question on what's everyone's opinion, the better player's opinion about forehand, backhand? Because Bill Fry, where's he at? Bill Fry is at, Billy Fry pounds the ball backhand.
It's completely
like
what's comfortable to you.
Doesn't matter.
I mean,
Hey, guys,
all
Ryan,
you guys have a lot
Ryan-
of speed
Ryan
in your
knows
swings. Like, where do you get the
doesn't
speed
matter.
in your swing? Steven, what, you're 280?
Using your legs and using the
270?
ground as leverage off your swing.
But is there a
All the
part of
other
the
people are
game
using
more
pushing-
fit to backhand than
pushing off it,
forehand?
or
Or
it's
whatever your brain
You
says.
plant it and then push off.
It's what your brain. It's what your brain says.
For me to hit.
Have you ever tried it?
I think I hit it.
I very little, very little. But to me, it seems a lot more less involved.
Yeah, like a back
Let's get a fairway wood
It's
as
much
well.
more simple because
Fairway wood.
you can only go so far this way.
Let's get him to do a fairway wood.
Turn, it can open, it can snap through
Jesse,
all the way.
put it on
Can-
your
it-
ball under your heel or
Jesse,
Which shots?
All of them.
Jesse,
Hey Jesse, sit.
Your weight off left
you want to hit Jesse's?
Like,
Or-
kind of like
No, Jesse.
Not that exciting. Not all. Okay.
Jesse,
Jesse,
we want it.
fairway wood, please.
Yeah, like
Can you say that again about using the ground as leverage?
Yeah, so you're losing the ground as leverage, so you want to.
I should just snap that thing
Jason probably talk about it more because he's the longest drive guy. He has this all the time.
pushing off your
But
inside
but you're
foot?
using your legs and using the ground as leverage. So when you get down here, you want to push and use the ground and use your legs.
And the
as
thing
leverage.
is you don't want to push. You don't want to push through. You actually want to push up and twist. Get your.
That's why you're using the ground.
Yes. When you're pushing. What's that?
On the ground, you're pushing on your
You're
balls to your
pushing
feet.
as you're coming through right here. You want to push about right here where you're locking into power and you're starting to. You want to twist and push. You actually kind of want to come up with it. Like.
All right, we've got fairway woods now, guys.
That's just sick. Look at that. So, Jesse, Vinny, anything you guys are thinking with? Yeah, you got it, man. With 3 woods?
Off the deck, just hit one 275.
Yeah, I know.
Hole.
That wasn't good.
Really?
What club are you hitting?
This is 3-iron.
So, Jesse, are you thinking anything else with the fairway wood?
Another thing.
Pretty much the same driver. You want it off your front foot, off the heel. And you want you don't want to hit down on it.
So you're standing up.
You want to have more.
You're pushing off that back.
Pushing off the using the ground as leverage.
There it is.
Wow.
Do you have any of that going on with your swing? Pushing the ground?
No, because what that does.
Shit.
Woo! Jesse,
That's impressive, man.
What that does for
What do you guys use?
What you use to get yourself back into a tempo.
Yeah, just
pushes off the ground. I was trying. Everybody says to use the ground. But when I start noticing
when I picked on the
that when I start pushing off the ground, immediately the club drops
Smooth one out
inside.
there.
And if the club starts dropping inside,
So, what do you guys use for alignment aids?
you're better to be Steve.
Steve. What do you guys use for alignment aids to get you aligned properly?
Me, if I look where my chest is in because I'm naturally kind of an open stance. So for me, where my shoulders are pointed is where I'm gonna hit it to. Wow, Jesse. Going back to the power thing.
Yeah.
Brad Clayton. He's
Hustle duck.
we were drunk off our butts at 1 o'clock in the morning on one of the nicest courses on the planet, and he had me do something with power-wise that I couldn't figure out why I was puzzling. Well, I naturally stand very open. Very open. And he told me, he crushed a beer can actually, handed it to me, and he said, here, throw this. When he had me throw it, I went like this, whoops, sorry, and my foot was square with my body, you know, like this, and I pushed through. And you go, okay, now, you know, now have your foot open and try to throw that, you know, like try to put your weight off.
You lose a lot of power.
Lost a lot of power, and then, you know, my hips were doing funky stuff, so then he's like, okay, now put your foot square, and, you know, ever since then, I've had this foot square, and that helped a lot. Yeah. Another thing I try to do is throw my hips through when I went through, you know, like push my hips out. But you don't want to push your hips out because then that kind of, it keeps your body from letting the foot square, so you got to twist your hips.
So Vince, what do you use for alignment? How do you align yourself? Make sure. Just watch out, Jesse. Jesse. How do you align yourself and get yourself lined up? Yeah. Use a club as an aid. Can you hit a couple? Is that your 5-wood or 3-wood? 3-wood.
Shoulder, you want to push through with your shoulder and snap that wrist.
That's phenomenal. Yep. Wow. A sweet baby draw to it. That was excellent.
Yeah.
Vinny, hang on a second. Come here.
Leverage right in.
Go ahead.
Push your shoulder through.
Come here.
Yeah, exactly. So like, just all day.
See, I was telling you, I moved the ball back in my stance. Look where he's at. Middle with 3-wood.
Yeah, that's
okay, but that's still.
Yeah, not all the way up for sure. And that's your driver, or that's all your fairway wood?
Fairway woods too, yeah.
Fairway woods too?
Yeah, and driver as well.
Okay, but not irons?
No, like irons, I probably pretty much have it like neutral.
I'm convinced I did the right thing.
My shoulder's not like this or not just like this.
Where's the ball?
So like what I have, so this is what I say. The longer the club, the further closer to your front foot it'll be. So driver, 3-wood, 5-wood, work your irons all the way down here.
Is that a 3-wood?
Yeah.
Did you shoot?
So yeah, because the longer the club, it'll bottom out sooner. So that's why you want it closer to the front.
So just the question I asked earlier, how do you align yourself and make sure you're aligned to your target?
So one big thing I do, so that's I'm going for that.
So which target are you going for?
I'm going for that red thing.
Okay.
What I will do, it's a lot easier to pick a target.
Yeah.
It just gets me to
In front of you.
Aiming towards
that one doesn't exist. That one will get itself out of the way.
right there, right?
Right.
So pick something that's almost like a divot or a leap or something from the ball.
Got it.
That's how I aim to wherever.
Perfect. That's a good sign. Thank you.
Hey, can I say one thing?
Like I said,
One of the things that I can get your team.
Was that part of the clinic?
You're still disconnecting.
All right.
because if it's aims,
You gotta keep your head down.
My hand's tired. Let's stop it. One more.
Hey, Jason. Yep. So,
You shorten your grip.
one of the things
Your shaft any shorter than normal.
even though Jason's going
standing,
long,
I don't choose.
his arm's not right. Disconnecting from his
I just
body.
have long arms.
Get back here and then you change, right? No, he's no, he does not. I say I correct.
Yeah. No, you don't want to. That's better off. You know what? I find myself when I slice
back
it,
here.
if I disconnect, if I let my elbow get out of.
And I get back here and then I go higher. Right.
Stop where it's comfortable.
That's my point. The point I was trying to make is, even with his swing coming here, he's not. He's connected.
So this
That
shouldn't be down.
Right, so like,
he does not disconnect.
Yeah,
Even
like
though
on
he's
a longer
long,
club, yeah.
he's not disconnected.
So the-
Look, if he went to here and then went like that, then he disconnects.
Everything is.
Jesse stays connected.
As you feel it go
Jason
back, you got
stays-
lag. You create lag, right? You got to feel that.
Jason stays connected, even though he's long. I'm sorry, he's wide, he's still connected.
I just have a wingspan that's.
Right. He's a beast.
That's always helped.
We done. That girl's got to pick up all the balls.
Even now?
Yeah, she's still got to go pick up all the
Hey
balls.
guys, we're done.
No, absolutely.
We're out of here.
Thank you. First ever NAOAGA clinic. Great job. Thanks, guys. Thanks for the teaching. Thank you, sir. God bless you. Thank you. Awesome course. Yes, sir. Thank you.
Jesse, Vince, everybody shout.